Welcome to For the Dads. Thank you for tuning in on this early Wednesday morning. I hope the trash is taken out. I hope you made yourself some breakfast, packed a little kid's backpack. This is a show for the dads who are in it, about to be in it, or maybe you're just somebody tuning in wondering what dad life, dad culture is all about. This is not a show about giving advice or being experts. We're just a couple of dads trying to pioneer and carry a flag for fatherhood, for dad culture, and speak up for our mental load. We have a lot of different segments in this show. We talk about our dad losses, which we get creative in what we call that segment. I'm not saying it at the top of the episode because I assume the YouTube algorithm might penalize us for that. We talk about our dad losses. Well, we crack a cold one too. We dive into fan call-ins this week. We have a lot of great feedback from episode 1. We play a couple fan call-ins and talk about those lessons that we're leaning into to become better versions in our minds of what fatherhood is. But again, we have a lot of fun. If you are a current dad, if you're a new dad, if you're an old dad just trying to figure your phone out right now, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Right now, we are on all Bussin With The Boys channels. In July, we will be launching our For The Dads YouTube channel, so be on the lookout for that. We have a lot of merchandise, as you can see, For The Dads, hats, hoodies, shirts, everything in between. That is at bwtb.com. Again, Sherm, I said that. I said that part, Sherm. I fucking said that part. And I was rolling on this intro. Sherm was showing me something on the computer, and I was thinking to myself, I literally have already said that. Let's dive into it. Let's take out the trash, boys. Welcome to another episode of For the Dads. This is episode 2. I am Will Compton. My co-host and producer of the show, Sherman Young, is with your boy. You're probably watching on YouTube right now. Maybe you're listening. Maybe you're in the middle of the night right now, listening to us in your ear. Or maybe you are taking out the trash. Reminder, it is trash day. It is Wednesday. So if you're in my part, I know in my neck of the woods in Nashville, Tennessee, it is trash day. So I hope you guys are getting the cans out to the curb, whether it's Thursday, day before, get it out there, get it early, get it often. Or maybe you might just be sitting on the couch watching with your wife because you enjoyed episode 1 so much that you're like, hey, now it's time to get the missus involved. But maybe not, because this is a safe space for the father. So if your wife is watching with you, just let her know, honey, like this is just a pod for the dads. Like this is for our voices. Yeah. This is our safe space where we can vent. We might bitch a little bit about our wives, and that's okay, because no matter what, we're coming home because, sweetheart, we love you. But all to say, a lot of great feedback last week, bro.
The feedback's crazy. The feedback's insane.
I got a few I want to shout out because I was going through the comments.
I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, I was going through the comments, seeing what people had said. But shout out again, Jerry Ferris. He was the one delivering his newborn on the bathroom floor. I saw him comment on the YouTube page. But shout out the boy. Shout out the dad, Jerry Ferris. A lot of people enjoying Pizza Friday, the Pizza Friday shout outs. Getting more. It's good to grow the community on Pizza Friday. We need more dads involved in growing the Pizza Friday community. Aaron Wood, a 25-year-old girl dad. His buddies don't have kids, and this show helps him fill the void. We also had a couple dads chime in. Jackson, who's 25, chimed in saying the same thing. And even Adam, a 40-year-old girl dad, was saying the same thing.
Hey,
maybe his buddies don't have kids. I don't know. Maybe he's not surrounded by some friends, and he might just need this show to vent or feel like he's part of the trenches with us.
Yeah, he's still in the game.
Nick's World, his wife is, shout out Nick's World on YouTube, and I saw this one in the comments. His wife is 26 weeks pregnant, listens to the show. So again, you can be an expecting father like yourself, Sherm. You can be a dad who's currently in it. You got some young ones, or you can be a father who's got, I was seeing some people saying that their kids are now in their 20s, but they just enjoy listening back and hearing all the memories about fatherhood.
Yeah. Not only the comments, but the DMs and the 601 The Dads hotline.
Yeah, man, you were telling me yesterday.
Went bonkers.
What was that number yesterday? It was like 74 had left voicemails?
Yes. And it was even more today. Chef, who helps dial everything in on the back end as far as 601 The Dads, our DMs, socials. Chef's showing me the voicemails even today. And I'm seeing those blue dots next to them, which means they're new voicemails on the iPhone. I actually have this is the 601 The Dad's phone right
That's
here.
the phone right there?
This is the phone
That's
right
the hotline.
Here. This is the hotline. 601 The Dads. You guys have been doing a great job calling in. One of my favorite ones that I kind of want to play, and I wish I had selected it now that I think about it, had 0 questions. Didn't want to say anything except for a happy Father's Day to the boys.
Dude.
That's all he wanted to say.
Yeah, because by the time this one drops, Father's Day will have already happened.
Yes.
I hope the fathers out there got everything they wanted. I hope they got their feet rubbed. I hope they got to sleep in maybe a little bit, maybe take a nap in the afternoon. I know if you're listening to this now, I'm going to say that I successfully got to take a nap in the afternoon because that's one big thing I always enjoy. You have a little bit of free time, get on the big love sack, take a little nap on a Sunday.
Is that the love sack that's up in your game room?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing is a cloud.
It's comfy. You see, we got a couple facelifts. If I don't know if the cameras are showing it, but we now have a refrigerator. Our interns did a great job grabbing this refrigerator at an antique shop. We got Sherm's little bean, the photos hanging up on the fridge. We got Rue. She made that little sheep. Clearly, she probably didn't make the sheep. She probably had a little help. But she made the little sheep, and the butterfly coloring that you see, that was Taylor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well done, Taylor.
Yeah, well done, Taylor.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I look at that, I'm like, God, we got to work on coloring in between the lines. I've been trying to work with her. God bless her. She loves coloring. She loves doing all this shit. She gets very frustrated if she can't color inside the lines, and she just wants like, Dad, you do it. Mama, you do it. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
like, no, you just got to keep practicing. You got to keep trying. But we got a little facelift with the studio set up.
Got a little facelift. I actually might have my first tip. My mom's an artist. If you start with Rue on the edges, this is for any dads out there. If you start on the edges and you have them trace inside of that line and practice tracing, that's a good way to get that hand a little steady, and it kind of makes it like nice for them of, oh, I can do that. Because it's kind of hard when they're scratching and blah, blah, blah. But hey, try and go with the line first and then fill it in. There's a little game.
It's a little game. Good little starting point. Good little step one.
Yeah.
What's been going on? Any new updates before we get into, getting motherfucked to crack a cold one, getting into our segments?
Yeah, dude. So Jill is starting to officially pack the hospital bag, like the overnight bag.
Yeah.
And last night I was watching TV and I was eating dinner. And we have these little dinner set things that we sit and eat because Jill's belly's so big that it's not comfortable for her to really kind of sit at the dinner table. She's kind of sit back while she's eating, and she's on FaceTime with her mom at Lululemon. She's, mom's picking out some bougie stuff for Jill, and then I hear, does Sherman need anything for the hospital? Does he need any new clothes? And I'm in the background going, no, I work at Bussin where you guys give us free clothes like twice a week, 3 times a week. We get something new. And Jill goes, yes, you do. You do need new. Yeah, Mom, he needs sweatpants. He needs blah, blah, blah. They're just like buying all this stuff for me. I didn't even see it. But it's great when the girls just like take the reins on the shopping stuff because I'm terrible at it. And whatever they buy me, I smile and just say, thank you.
And
I'll wear it.
And just packing the overnight bag.
Oh, yeah.
All the things, the little wrinkles that go into that, because you're just thinking, what all? Are they going to have everything there for us?
That was my thought. And then I'm seeing this bag and it looks like we're going to an overnight camp. Like I went to camp as a kid and like you'd pack a trunk and a duffel. We need a true duffel. And
you got to have the outfit. First outfit they're going to wear when they leave the hospital.
Oh, yeah. And Jill's
the outfits. Don't get me started on the outfits. Not the hospital one coming out. I get that that's a big moment and everything else. But I was with a fellow dad the other weekend, and we were Charo had like a Bar 3 event over, what's that horse track over on the west side?
Oh,
Steeplechase. They had an event going on over at Steeplechase. And I take the kids over. And
good call.
I take the kids over and we're watching her do her thing. There was like 300-400 people there. And Rue's wanting to go see Mom and stuff like that. And I'm standing there next to a fellow dad. His name is Tom. I won't say his last name. Got to protect him on the show. Don't know if his wife's listening right now.
Of course.
So it could be any Tom. And we're standing there and, we're kind of just venting, getting some dad stuff off our chest, bitching a little bit, just having a good time, bonding over fatherhood, the sucky parts, like some of the sucky parts of it. he was bringing up this detail, and once he brought up he had to have their daughter in a specific outfit coming over to the event. I'm like, buddy, don't you hate when they do stuff like that? Like, you're just thinking, all right, I'm going to get them dressed, and then you bring them downstairs, and all of a sudden, hey, why didn't you put on the outfit I had laid out? It's like, oh, it seemed a little complicated. I don't want to have to tie the little strings on the back of the neck, like, or if it's a dress and I don't know necessarily how to work it. It seems like there's a lot of different things going on with the operation. Like, what's wrong with just shorts and a t-shirt? And then next thing you know, you're in a little dust up. You're in a little moment because they want a specific outfit to go to a certain event. I'm not going to say leaving the hospital again, aside from leaving the hospital. But in everyday life, one thing that you're going to run into is they're going to want them in certain outfits. And some that you're going to come and you're like, how does this thing function? Because again, you're going to have a little girl too. Like, you're more privy to what guys wear. It's like, hey, shorts and a t-shirt's going to work just fine. She's going to play a lot. Like, why does she need a certain outfit? Because now when she's wearing her dresses, she has an expectation of wanting to wear a dress. And it's like, sweetheart, you can't wear a dress every day of your life. You got gymnastics today. We got sprints today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And especially if she's getting into sports like soccer and stuff like that, like, she'll learn the importance of some shorts or some t-shirts over a dress. I don't want to get in trouble with Jill.
Yeah, listen, Charles, sweetheart, I love you. I love you. I know she listened to last week. She might listen to this week. Who knows? But that's always the thing. I'm always like, sweetheart, we'll be in the car. I'm like, why do I got to put her in a certain outfit? Or I might just say, hey, my bad on the outfit, kind of massage a little bit. But also, why does she got to wear that outfit?
Yeah. And what's up with all the buttons on the outfits? That's what I'm getting introduced right now, because I'm just seeing, like, Scarlett's not here yet, obviously, but the closet is more full than my closet. My, like, human 32-year-old, I have a job, I have weekend outfits, I have jackets and stuff for the winter. My unborn child has more clothes in her closet right now. I swear to God. And that might be because Jill has like 26 first cousins and all these aunts and uncles, like, and so we're getting all these,
right? All these different outfits.
Thank you so much for sending them. But I'm also looking at the closet. I'm like, holy shit. Okay.
Like, hey, she's only going to be 3 months old for 30 days.
That's the other thing and now that she's small, they're like, oh, okay, she's kind of smaller, so she'll actually fit in preemie stuff. So, honey, we got to actually go to Walmart. We got to buy the preemie sizes because she's going to be a little on the smaller side. And I'm like, okay, so like us going, 8 months in advance to buy the onesies maybe wasn't the smartest decision, but it was so fun to go shopping. But the question I have for you that might get you in trouble, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I laughed when I overheard Jill say this. We have an induction date, the 2nd of July. She has a hair appointment before the induction date. Did Charos had a hair appointment before her induction date?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think she did. I mean, buddy, it's a war in there.
I'm not ready.
I'm even thinking for Jill, for what she's going to get hair and makeup done.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, she's getting her hair done.
It's a war in there. Charo might have. I have no clue. I don't remember with either of them, her like having a hair appointment. Maybe she did. You know what I mean? Because then they want to look, as they're leaving the hospital and everything else.
Of course.
But it's a war in there. Like, I hope the best for you. I hope it's in. I hear my buddies being like, "Hey, we spent about an hour in the hospital. We were out." And it's like, "Oh, good for you, man." It was 40 plus with Charles. Like, it was a war.
My buddy showed me a video of him and his wife headed for their first baby girl. They're headed to the hospital, and so in that moment, I'm sure I'm going to be so crazy nervous. They're at a red light though, and he had the thought to pull out his phone and film his wife in the passenger seat, and she has the little mirror down and she's doing her makeup in the mirror. And that made me laugh so hard.
I mean, look, if they're in and out quick, maybe that's all right.
Okay.
You just got to prepare. Bring your own pillow, bring your comfiest stuff. Bring even an extra pillow to put under your knees, because the couch bed that they got, or just the couch in general, like that's a bit of a battle for the dads. Like, you're going to be wearing, you're going to go through it physically too.
Yeah.
Maybe not like them, but you on that couch, that's a one-on-one game right there.
I've heard that one of my buddies was saying Pokemon, like on the original Game Boy, is what got him through on those little sofa moments. And I'm thinking to myself,
I'm just thinking of him playing Pokemon. Like,
Well, I'm thinking to myself,
get your ass over here. It's coming.
Jill, look at Jill.
Hey, get off catching this Bulbasaur.
The Charmander's a Charizard.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. What'd you say, nurse? What were you saying? But I was like, what would her mom think if she looked over and I have my Game Boy with my little Pokemon Blue sticking out of the back? Hey, Sherman, do you mind grabbing these things? Yeah, 1 second.
1 second. I'm swimming at the bottom of the island trying to get all the unlimited rare candy.
Great pull. Great pull.
Oh, those were the days, man.
They were.
Should we dive into our segments?
Yes.
And again, before we do, if you're watching on YouTube right now, please continue to leave comments. Like it was honestly really cool to see all you guys chiming in, telling us about your background, telling us about you guys loving the show. There are some out there that probably, had a couple hateful comments, but we'll just, we won't mention those. But leave comments. We will be having our own YouTube channel at some point. If you listen on Spotify or Apple, we are under all Bussin With The Boys handles, so you can check us out there. And if you are watching and listening right now, make sure you are subscribed to The Boys. Subscribe to our channel. It helps us out a lot. And yeah.
Can I do one more housekeeping thing?
Yes.
I'll put 2 graphics right here. We have an email for those that are outside the United States and can't do 601 The Dads over the phone. We have 601thedads@gmail.com that they can then write in their questions to.
Okay.
So if you are outside the United States and you want to ask the boys a question, feel free to do that on the email. The other one, I just went blank, and it had to do with the YouTube channel. That will launch in July.
Okay. So be on the lookout in July.
We've been having a lot of people asking, hey, I can't find y'all's channel, though. I found your podcast, but it's on the Bussin channel.
Right.
Will it always be on the Bussin channel? Won't always be on the Bussin channel. We'll have our own channel.
Right. We'll have our own channel. We'll be able to break out some clips, do fun stuff like that. Yeah. Also, bwtb.com. We got a lot of killer merch. This hoodie that I'm wearing, these hats that Sherman and I are wearing. A lot of fun dad merch on there. bwtb.com. Go shop. Shop till you drop.
Shop till you drop. First segment, I had motherfuck pulled up first, but we can go in any order you want.
Listen, I'm down for a good motherfuck. It's been coming from my daughter. It's been coming from my daughter, Rue. It has,
really?
And it's an ego shot. It's her bedtime. She's 3, and she's gotten in this phase to where sometimes she enjoys bedtime with Dada, but recently it's mom or nothing. And when I say mom or nothing, I'm talking an exorcism style tantrum to where she's shaking. She's making noises I've never heard her make before when she cries. She's yelling so loud that the next morning she wakes up and she's got like the little Compton rasp when she's like lost her voice, because she gets so upset if mama doesn't do bedtime. Because my wife and I, one of us takes Scotty each night, the other takes Rue, and then we just switch back and forth. And obviously Scotty's kind of the easier one. She's sleeping through the night. She goes down very easy. She knocks out. She absolutely yugs her 8 ounces of milk.
Come on.
And she's out fairly quickly, so you get done earlier, and the other one's in the room with Rue, like just negotiating their ass off the entire time, to the point where you have to think about waterboarding her if you're going to get her down for bed. But Rue has been, it's like she asks, I walk in the room and I start to feel uncomfortable because I'm like, man, I hope she is down for dad to put her to sleep tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I walk in and her first question is like, hey, who did bedtime last night? And I'm like, Mama did bedtime last night, so who's doing bedtime tonight? And I'm like, Dad is doing bedtime tonight. And it's just like her head goes up, bro, and it's like she sees like a substitute teacher that she hates, and that substitute teacher takes their job way too seriously, and it's like the energy just leaves the room. And
have y'all gotten a reason out of her yet? Like
she wants mama. She wants mama.
Okay.
I need mama to hug me. And I think it's just because mama's in the other room with Scotty, and a little bit of jealousy kind of sparks up.
Oh, okay.
But it wears my wife out, because she's like, it's not like she's that much easier with Charo.
Yeah.
Because Charo's got to put her down. She wants to do a lot of extra things when Charo's in the room. And because you read her a bedtime story, like you get her in her PJs, you read her a bedtime story, you brush her hair, you brush her teeth, you get her to the bed, then she usually wants you to do something extra. Hey, Dad, lay next to me, read me another book. And then, Dad, can you sing to me? Or Dad, hey, I'm getting thirsty. And then you go down and get water, and you might bring it back up. Dad, I'm getting hungry, and that's where you draw the line. You're like, no, like I know we know what's happening right now. We gotta slow it down and pump the brakes. But recently, bro, she's just been going batshit crazy. Anytime I try to put her down for bed, and it's like it's one of those shots to where it sucks for me because I want to put her down. You got to have so much patience. It's like you're sitting there, and as she's screaming, hyperventilating, spazzing on the floor. And you just have to sit there in it because anything I try doing, it just works her up even more. She doesn't want me to touch her, doesn't want me to do this. Don't look at me. I'm not looking at you. Then you catch yourself raising your voice and you kind of just stop. And the moment like freezes and this dog whistle noise is just in your ear. And you're like having a moment to where you're just sitting there seeing your toddler just scream on the ground. And you're just thinking, why is this so damn difficult? But that is my motherfucked moment is from my daughter, Rue. Because I feel like she's basically cussing me out anytime I try to put her down for bed.
Wait, I got to see Charo do a little bit of negotiating with her at Dad Combine, by the way.
Yeah.
And I wanted to pick your brain on that strategy too. And kind of if it fits with the bedtime strategy as well, of how are you handling that screaming? Like, what is your tactic? Because what I saw Charo do in the pool, Jack was fake drowning in the pool. Rue was loving that. And like,
save me.
Jack goes, and she grabbed the hand and pull him out. And they did it 800 times. I mean, Rue could have done that all day. And finally, Charo says, hey, 3 more times. And then we got to go. And Rue very quickly was like, no, Mom, we're doing this 1,000,000 more times. I'm never getting out of the pool. And Charo just stood there quite literally like George Bush with the first pitch. Brick wall, not afraid of terrorists.
Not afraid of terrorism.
It said, then how many more times would you like, Rue? And I was like, I looked at Charo because I was like, I've never really seen a parent do that. I was like, that's kind of cool. Let's see what Rue says. And Rue was like, 5.
Because they can't count that high. No, you can't count that high. Why don't you give me a number? And we'll hold you to. You don't like 3? Okay, what can you go up to?
What do you want?
Yeah.
She said 5. Charo said, that sounds fair. Let's do 5.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Is that just Charo?
Yeah, I mean, you're playing with things all the time because you're trying to like remain calm and stay patient because you don't want to argue, especially in front of other people. Like that's something that like internally frustrates me when I hear kind of like, acting up or starting to throw a little bit of a fit or complaining a little too loud. It's like I'll start to get triggered a little bit more than I should because I'm just like, you want your kid to just be on good behavior in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Then you're also reminding yourself they're 3, a lot of sensory, a lot of like all their senses are flared up right now.
Yeah.
But it's something you just figure out. Like you'll do it. I know a bunch of parents do it. Like if I'm trying to get Rue to eat or not even finish her dinner, but get her to eat a few more bites and she's just not going to. And you're just like, you'll throw out the number 3, like, hey, just eat 3 more bites and you're done and you can be done.
Yeah.
Or she'll talk about the cookie. Hey, you're not getting a cookie whatsoever if you don't start eating. But then when it gets to a point, hey, 3 more bites and you can get a piece of a cookie. And then she'll be like, how about 2 more bites? And so I'll just say, you know what? If you take 1 more bite, I'll let you do 2 more bites. Do the math.
Come on.
We're at 3. She'll be like, okay. She'll eat a bite. All right, fine. 2 more bites
then
and you got
more,
it. Yeah, 2
good.
more bites and you got it. But it's like you're trying to give them control. That's all you're really trying to do. Like when you're thinking in those moments and you just know, again, you're negotiating with the terrorists. Like they have no reason.
Yeah.
Their brain capacity isn't there to actually have a conversation. They just want to feel independent. They want to be in control. So if you like say something, they're kind of battling against it. You just try to throw it to them. All right, like what are your thoughts? What do you think? And knowing that they can't count that high. Or when Rue's wanting to scroll my phone and pick a song and I'm just like, sweetheart, you can't read. You can't read. You're not going to pick the right song.
I got it.
It's just the element of like giving them control in that moment.
Yeah.
And when they say 5, all right, great. 5 more times and we'll go.
Okay,
or you'll
cool.
say like, hey, how many more minutes if she's watching TV? How many more minutes? You only got, one more minute, and then we're going to turn the TV off. And knowing that she's not going to like that. All right, how many more minutes? She'll be like, 3 more minutes. Like, all right, Dad, I'll set a timer 3 more minutes. And then when it goes off, she gets up, she turns off the TV.
Really?
Or she'll tell me to turn it off. All right, Dad, you turn it off. And then you turn it off. But it's just like, it's just giving them the illusion of control when they're 3 years old. I don't know how it's going to work when they're 4, 5, 6, 7. If your parents are watching right now, let me know what I need to look forward to and maybe some tactics that I can add in the survival kit in the book bag for when those times come. But it's like you just learn a whole new level of patience and just being like, all right, what's a tool? What question can I ask to make them feel like they have control right now?
Yeah, we did the old-fashioned D-Wade LeBron meme of on Rue with the syrup.
Yeah.
When I said, well, we can give Scotty some syrup, and you said, no, Scotty's too young. I said, oh, yeah, that's right. Syrup's only for big girls. And then Rue was like,
hey, I am kind of a big girl.
Hey, what the fuck?
Yeah, I am kind of a big girl.
I'm a big girl.
Do you have any?
That makes sense.
Do you have any recent motherfucked moments? I know the wifey's getting close. Not saying she's agitated and uncomfortable, which she is.
I don't have a big one, but yesterday I came home and she was in full effect of like getting the hospital. And Chef, do you mind cutting the air? It's not an issue at all, but it's going to be on the very back behind the bus, and it's going to be up against the right wall. Yes, sir. We forgot to cut the air in the building.
To cut the air. It's all right. It happens.
We may even leave that in the edit.
At Bussin HQ.
Because we're authentic here.
Yeah.
But yes, I came home. She's packing the bags for the hospital stuff. I can tell she's been at it all day. Her mind kind of runs. So she's a nurse. She's aware of like things that can go wrong in pregnancy. And that's one thing that we've been dealing with throughout this pregnancy is she just kind of knows like, if she burps and feels weird when she burps, her brain can all of a sudden go, oh, that's, Carl's blah, 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 itis. And that means that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, word we don't know, itis.
Just spirals into, well, oh my gosh. So she piddles around the house and does like a lot of hard work to kind of keep her mind busy. I could tell she was in that zone. But I know that one of her least favorite things that I do when I get home is just lay on the couch while she's piddling. So I was like, at the least, I will go join her in the nursery, lay down on my back, because she doesn't want me folding her clothes and Scarlett's clothes, all these cute things. Like she wants to do that. But I'll go lay on my back in the nursery while she's doing that. And dude, what's that smell? Why are your shoes on in here? Like, what are you doing? Sherman, do not put your head on that. I could just tell that I was in the way. So I quickly took my shoes off, tried to sit there for a while. I have a really bad, I'll pass gas and not think about it. So I farted and that was the last straw. I got kicked out of the nursery and I could have done a better job. I could have come in there and been more helpful. I was exhausted after work. I was trying to put in like some effort though of like, hey, I will be next to you and lay with you and talk with you and make you laugh while you're doing this. But I think I just went about it all wrong.
Yeah. Nothing gives me more anxiety because I'm the same way. I kind of like hitting the couch. Kind of like laying down, you get home, you just want to check out for a second.
100%.
And anytime, especially like after the kids go down, and I'll be like laying on the couch, and then say Charles got done putting down Rue, so she'll come down second in the situation. She'll come down. I might have a show of ours plugged in. Right now, we're watching Stick on Apple TV.
Can't wait to start that. How is it?
It's fun.
Okay.
I like it a lot. It's a good show. And I'll be down there laying and she'll start piddling. You know what I mean? Like just start cleaning a bunch of stuff up that I didn't know we needed cleaned up.
Yeah.
And that's what gives me anxiety because I feel like she just stomps around a little harder. Like she's almost, and this might not even be true. It might even be in my own head. But I feel like she's stomping a little harder. Yeah. She might release a couple sighs to where she knows in her mind, I want him to feel that I'm doing stuff right now and he's just sitting on his ass. That's the anxiety that I get in my head.
Yeah. She's just hearing TikToks and memes playing on your iPhone.
Yeah. Josh Pate breaking down the boys. Maybe hear me just give a chuckle. Oh, this
And
clip.
apparently, they're for the boys over there.
Yeah. So what are you doing over there? Just checking emails. That's funny. I hear Instagram open right now.
That yeah, I mean that's basically, it's not a crazy motherfuck, but it is like, I'm starting to realize too, with like a baby on the way, I'm going to have to hit like a 3 p.m. or 3:30 coffee, something to where like,
Yeah.
I'm not coming home and my brain is instantly like, I need to be on the couch for like 30 to 45 minutes just on my phone, not even talk. Because that's where I go to every single time. I can tell it rubs her the wrong way.
Yeah, you're going to be, just tip.
Yeah.
That'll blow up when the little one's here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I already know that it's bad.
I hope you do try that a couple times. Just because I want the
For
story
the show.
for the show.
For the show.
Hey, sweetheart, are you going to get that? You're just doom scrolling.
Oh, okay. Ohio State might win the Natty this year, honey. That's crazy. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? But yeah, that was my motherfuck. If we want to throw it to crack a cold one.
Before we do, should we read a couple of our ads?
Oh
Should
yeah,
we hit a couple of our sponsors.
I did see in the comments, a lot of people were saying at the front end of the show.
Front end of the show. Okay. If everybody feels that way, we can do that moving forward.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
As we get to this Crack the Cold One, the Crack the Cold One segment is brought to us by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL Draft. Tight in you with Bud Light partner George Kittle, the UFC, Shane Gillis' 2025 tour. Their partners also include Peyton Manning, Baker Mayfield, Emmitt Smith, Post Malone, Dustin Poirier. Bud Light is always brewed with 4 simple ingredients for a clean, crisp taste. And you can stock up now on Bud Light. Just head to www.budlight.com/locator to find a store near you. Should I just go ahead and hit row? Should I hit row?
I love
If you guys don't mind, I'll just go ahead and hit row. Because we all know we have emergencies in life where you need to get the boy below the belt going a little sooner than he's ready to go.
Yeah.
And that's where Row Sparks comes in. Row Sparks, it's a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for guys who need a secret weapon against softness. You heard that right, fellas. Row Sparks can give guys bigger, thicker, longer erections because they get fuller faster. After Row Sparks dissolve, they work in 15 minutes on average. And if prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off their first order of Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with a provider at row.co/dads to find out if prescription Row Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/dads for $15 off your first order. Let's crack a cold one.
Let's crack a cold one. I cracked mid ad read. Do you want to crack a cold one first?
Sure. Rue had her first ballet camp.
Oh, yes.
So cracking a cold one to Rue's first ballet camp. It was her first camp to where she's been going. She went for a week long, 3 hours per day. You drop her off. And this is a solo camp. So this is the first time we're dropping her off to go do something without involving us or the nanny or somebody that she's like comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
Her grandparents, whatever it is. She's on her own. I feel like it took probably more of a toll on us than it did Rue. I know when Charles first brought it up, I was a little hesitant, like, are we sure we want to do this? And yada, yada, yada. Just because I don't know. I just think of the innocent little 3-year-old, like I feel like it's all the stuff that parents go through, and maybe not. But you think about all the situations where they might feel unsure and nervous, or they might get picked on. I don't know. All of these things are just in my head, and I just think of my sweet little girl.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad to think of those situations. So I felt like it took a bigger toll on us than it did her. But dude, it was awesome. The first day, I know the drop off was a struggle. She was very nervous. She was very sad. Char was telling me that she was like, Mama, I don't want you to go, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that I wasn't exactly there. I got to do it at home. And tell her like, hey, go be great, go have fun, like do all this stuff, make friends. You're saying all of the things, dude. And she went, dude, and she went into the class. Char was leaving. Rue struggled with that. And then after the class, when they went to pick her up, she came running outside and was like, Mama, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't scared. I did it. And all this stuff. And she was just elated, bro. And just to know that she had a great first day, like first experience, was just like, it warmed the boy's heart.
Were you there on the pickup? That was just Char?
No, because it was happening when we were here at the shop.
Got it.
Like it was going from like 9 to noon. So I got to see her before we left the house, before we departed from the house. And then I didn't get to see her until I went home. And then I'm asking her all about it. I'm like, show me this stuff that you were learning. And she's like, showing me tuck, pike, straddle, and butterfly. And then as she's doing butterfly, she starts singing butterfly. She's just like starts singing.
Because there's a song with
There's
it.
a song to help them remember.
Yeah.
And it was cool, dude. But she went the entire week. She had a little like, not recital, but something that at like 15 minutes, they showed the parents on the last day, like all the things that they've been working on, like their jumps and leaps and tippy toes everywhere and animals that they were kind of mimicking and doing stuff with their rolls, like rolling forward, tucking their chin.
Okay.
Then they had a little dance at the end. And it was awesome, man. It was awesome. It's like one of those things where, and you'll obviously get there, and I'm sure parents are out there probably remembering their first time like dropping their kiddo off, but even though it's like an uncomfortable thing to do, it's like good for them because you're wanting to build like that independence. You're wanting them to start building social skills, build some resilience on being uncomfortable, being scared, but then knowing that they can do it, and then they do it. I'm not nervous. I wasn't scared, and all this stuff, and they start getting more confident in themselves. But that's my crack a cold one. Rue went to her first like summer camp, ballet camp, 5 days, and it was cool.
Dude, that's sick. I'm in so much trouble with like moments like that of like I wasn't scared, I wasn't nervous. Just like hearing that, I'm like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because you try to get them as much as you can, like early talking about emotions, because when they're having their breakdowns, hey, what are you feeling? What is this? Why this? And she'll be like, I'm sad, and, kind of try to label all their emotions. And so when she was telling mom that I'm nervous, I don't want you to leave, I'm scared, I'm all this stuff, to where as a parent, like I know if I'm in that situation, I'm just kind of thinking like, this is extremely difficult. I kind of don't want to leave. Like, let me just kind of stick around. And then you're like, maybe I'll leave when she's not looking. And then you also kind of feel bad or feel guilty that I'm going to sneak out, and then she's going to look and see in the corner and you're not going to be there. And then maybe she might get scared even more, again. I don't know. But
I would feel like a boxing coach, like in the corner with my boxer, like, but like you were describing with Rue before she was leaving, and like go be great and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to have to hold back in those moments.
Yeah.
Because I'm just thinking about that and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's like,
it's wild when you're just experiencing all of like the firsts. You know what I mean? First time they say a word or say dada. First time they walk. First time they tell you I love you. Like all of the first. It's always a different moment that you're excited about. And then when you get past it, you reflect on, it makes you sad that they're growing up, and all of those things in between, dude.
How was she sleeping that week? Were they getting her real tired and she was just coming home and passing out?
She doesn't
night?
take naps anymore. Now she's out of the nap game, which is
nice.
like, you're trying to implement like quiet time, because if not, she'll be on all day.
Okay.
You've been around Rue, like she's a spark plug, full of personality, a lot of independence, real sassy, or build some sass. And she just she has so much fun with absolutely everything. She wants to be playing all the time. Oh, we have a knock.
Oh, we have
door.
a guest. Hey, how's it going?
How we doing?
Oh, with neutral.
Okay, yeah, that would be on the other side. Yes, sir. Sorry for that interruption in our program. We had a delivery man with a delivery man up front. Crack a cold one.
Crack a cold one. There was one more thing I was gonna say with.
Oh yeah, we were in the middle.
The first, it's like, oh, it's their first. I love you and all that, and it was like her first time going to camp. Do you think you'll do summer camps, like overnight summer camps with her?
Probably eventually.
Okay.
I don't think I did for a long time. It'd be like, it was more just like sport camps and stuff. I didn't have I didn't
did a
do
lot of
any of like those summer camps where you're like staying overnight or traveling out of state. Charo did. So I feel like she probably will because Charo experienced that stuff and she's kind of brought it up before.
Okay.
That'll be a whole different level.
That's going to be tough on the boy, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because I know it'll be tough on me.
Yeah.
And I don't even have one.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be difficult. It'll be difficult. But it's like, you know, it's just life, right?
Yeah.
You got to learn at some point.
Yeah.
You got to get them uncomfortable. Got to get us uncomfortable.
Got to get us
uncomfortable. Because it's
going
to happen.
Too. I truly do. I think about moments of, I mean, not to make it about myself, but like TCU Baylor went to triple overtime one year and I was like bawling my eyes out at that football game. For not out of sadness, but just out of like the sheer emotion from it. And then Jill's talking about like with me, you're going to be the best dad ever, like at her Little League, you know, games and stuff. And if she wants to play soccer like her dad did. And I started tearing up right there. I was like, I'm going to have to wear sunglasses to these Little League games.
Yeah.
And just be the piss off looking dad, like far away. And you're like, man, that guy's looks so mean. But really, I'm just over there like, fucking love my girl so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just crying the whole time.
Yeah. Watching her just hit her little performance at the end of her camp when I was over there earlier. I just already know I'm already like one of those dads. I'm watching every kid go. I'm like, you know, Rue's kind of got a little edge on her here. And then, you know, Rue might be hopping like, all right, do it like the horse or the giraffe. And they're kind of like moving their arms, but Rue's not moving her arms.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
all right, we got to work on that when we get home.
We'll work on that.
Like, let's see her jump over this little pylon, like how they're all going to look jumping over this little mat. And you see them all going, you see Rue, you're like, all right. And the first thing I want to do whenever it gets done, I want to go right up to the teacher and be like, just give it to me straight that she got a shot. She got a shot to go pro.
What's going on here?
Let's figure it out now when she's 3 years old.
And with ballet, I've heard like Russia's pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
are we going to be sending her over to Russia or what does this look like?
Yeah.
What are the next
What do you
steps?
see when you look at Rue out there? I have my opinion, but I'll hold it until you go first. But give it to me straight.
Hey, you go first, coach.
You see the calves on her? You see the legs on her?
This will never be during practice. I just want you to know I'll come to you after. That's your time.
Yeah.
I feel like this is our time now after practice.
She's got good genetics. Where'd you get that? Her mom? I did play a few years in the NFL.
Oh my God, dude. The videos that you already post of Rue doing ballet, I love that. You can tell you get juiced about it. It's
bro.
fun.
You love watching them just develop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that they're their own little human being. They're their own little person.
Yeah.
And they're just like doing it. You
It's
know what I'm
fun.
saying?
Yes, it's fun. It's fun. My crack a cold one. My crack a cold one's kind of quick too, but it was like a really. This is like selfishly about me, but it was a really incredible moment of we had the dad combine this week. All the dads of all the Bussin boys, including Will and Taylor's dads, all fly in and we compete on like multiple dad competitions. It's really lighthearted. It's really fun, but it turns into this like incredibly wholesome day where it's just a bunch of sons getting to hang out with their dads and they're getting paid to do it, which is nuts. My road in production has not been a bumpy one, but it's just hard to make a living and be in full-time production if you're not in some of the hot spots of like Atlanta, New York City, LA. So it's just kind of a road less traveled. And my dad was very much in the corporate world. And so it wasn't like I never had my dad's blessing, but it was always kind of like you could tell that dad kind of second guessed a lot of decisions that I made.
Right. Because you're not going down the road that he went down. Because you it seems like in your family, some things are not like generational to a T, but there's kind of a structure there. So I'm sure there's that shame or, level of insecurity of like, man, he's never said it and he's never given me a weird vibe, but it's like, is he kind of disappointed that I'm not like
I'm sure
making a shift?
Yeah, and I'm sure on his end that I didn't go that path. He may even be thinking like, is it because he doesn't like me that he doesn't want to do this? Like why?
Yeah, that's true.
Like where'd that come from? But he always did see me like as a little kid in the backyard I would make little Indiana Jones movies with like all the neighbor kids, or like all my friends would come over and we'd do like sketch comedy stuff and put it on YouTube. And so my parents were well aware that this was something that interested me. But you and Taylor gave me an opportunity here full time, an incredible one that brought my wife and I halfway across the nation. It was just a very big move. It was a very big opportunity. And it was really kind of the first time that my dad, like I could really sense like how proud and excited he was. And he pulled Will to the side at the dad combine and it was in front of me. And he thanked Will for giving me this opportunity specifically of the show. And hearing him saying like, thank you for giving him a shot because we've been seeing it since, you know, he was a little kid. And it just means the world that somebody else saw it in him. And he gave you like a little hug or like a little dap or something. And then you started waxing poetic about me, which you did not have to do, but that feels really good when your boss is saying that to your dad. And it was honestly like a top 3 dad moment. It was really cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Because I know when he pulled me aside, it was before everything started. And he's like, I just want to say this before everything gets going, and took off his hat and everything.
He did.
He's like giving me a very genuine, sincere, conversation about, being proud of you.
Yeah.
And you being with the boys.
It was just really cool. Really selfish crack a cold one, but like, man, it was a really good crack a cold one. That was just
it's about your dad. That's what we're here for. This is a For the Dads podcast, man. Because that day was really cool. It's like I posted about it, but it's essentially we've taken something that we do work related and came up with this event, and it's not like a very uber competitive thing. It's kind of just like a reason for us to have our dads in and hang out with our dads. I know last year there wasn't as many of the dads here, and then you kind of sit back and think about it. You're like, let's get everybody's dad in the shop if we can here on this date. We'll fly him in, and it's essentially like us kicking it with our dads, because we're like, you know, doing competitions like packing coolers, taking out the trash, a little trash relay, a fashion show for True Classic, and you're doing trivia, so you're answering questions about, you know, who was your dad's favorite crush growing up, or when did he lose his virginity, when is his birthday, what's his favorite color, what was his first job. They're answering stuff about you on embarrassing moments. You're kind of getting to relive, you know, stuff from your dad's past, stuff from your childhood that they remember that you might not remember.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of sitting there at the end, and now that a few of the dads, this is their second year in a row, just to see kind of a rapport or a relationship building, and knowing like the boys in the shop are all super tight. Now seeing our dads get in the mix and start to become tighter, just know that this is the date every year that we're going to have a dad combine. It's really cool, man. Jelly Roll said it a long time when we were just talking about Bussin' With The Boys. He just talked about it being like a diary, a video diary or a video journal that we'll get to look back on one day and listen to our conversations. And this is a dark way of thinking about the dad combine stuff, but thinking so far into the future that one day when our dads are no longer here, because that will be a real thing, we will have these videos and these moments to look back on and see us interacting with them when we're like 35 versus like home videos of them, us being little and them being a new dad. It's like we have moments throughout our childhood and our adult life to where we'll be able to watch that, you know, with sadness and happiness and everything else. But it's really cool that we'll have all these things. And if Bussin' is no more, right? You get to look back on all the relationships that we all had, all the funny moments. But the dad combine was a lot of fun.
It was a ton of fun. Yeah, the idea of being a grandfather one day, but being able to like pull up some of those videos of just like me getting my head buzzed for that bet I lost, or like, you know,
showing your grandkids, showing their friends, embarrassing them about stuff.
Yeah. But yes, that was our crack a cold one. And also just a reminder for the 601 The Dads, because we have had a few that I've listened to where they were like, I had a good crack a cold one, or I had a really good motherfucked. Love that. If you got a dad hack or a toolkit, just another reminder. I know we've said that before. Like, tell us your crack a cold ones too. It does not have to be a question. And one of the ones this week, I believe, is a crack a cold one, and it is stellar.
And just off the whole 601 The Dads, because I know we're all learning through this and figuring out too, I'm trying to think of the people that call in and, you know, they might give it another shot the next week. and they might say the same exact story. If there are a bunch of voicemails that we hear that you think could make it on the show, but that's not just the ones that we selected for this show, you can keep them in a roll. We can probably keep them in a Rolodex. Put the headphones on.
No, you're fine. I was just seeing if like the viewers could hear Chef, because I would love for the viewers to hear that. And if they couldn't hear Chef, that's intern Chef. That's been helping us with For the Dads. He has been compiling all these voicemails. We are taking our job very seriously with the voicemails, with the DMs. Chef is a huge part of that and cycles through all those call logs and listens to them and compiles them. And Sherman, would this be a good one? Because we actually surprised Will with the call-ins the actual day of recording. Just know those voicemails are being listened to. Chef's taking his job really seriously, so we thank him for that. So keep calling.
Just trying to find ways to continue building this community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can already just tell from the comments in the first episode and just the dads who are excited about it and everything else and the messages that we were getting. Like it's gonna be a lot of fun. And if you've made it this far in the second episode, feel free to share it. Feel free to share with your boys, your fellow dad group chats.
Yes.
Feel free to share it. Pass it around. Because people might not fully know, you know what I mean? They might be subscribed to the Bussin YouTube channel.
Yep.
And they might have saw the thumbnail and just think it's like a clip or something.
And that was looking at the analytics. Jeremy had pulled it up for me. That was two of the main ways that people were actually seeing the episode, where people were sharing, the dads were sharing it. And then the dads were also looking up For the Dads on YouTube, which that's usually a really small percentage, but there's a high percentage of our views just from For the Dads, which to me, that feels like a word of mouth thing. So that's really cool that the dads are doing that. Our next segment, What Are the Odds? Shout out FanDuel Sportsbook. What are the odds? Just a reminder for you guys. This is where we tell a story of like crazy timing, wild odds, or just kind of those small little moments in life where it's like, man, what are the odds of that? That's so funny. The What Are the Odds this week was also at Dad Combine. This features my dad, and also features Mitchell Carsley's dad. Mr. Carsley was introducing himself to my dad, and I guess he had overheard Papa Sherm and Bill Compton talking a little bit about guns, and so he holstered that. And about 45 minutes later,
such a dad combo.
Oh yeah, dude. And by the way, I wish so badly we had a camera on Bill and Papa Sherm talking about their Nosler, and then your dad's 30-06, and just going through. Oh, dude,
that was forgetting. I can't remember right now.
I can't remember right now.
Takes off his hat. Bill, super nice to meet you. I'm Sherman's father.
They're both cue balls.
Both cue balls. My dad. Oh, you get your haircut at the same spot I do. You know, just having a wholesome father exchange.
It was incredible. But yes, Mr. Carsley, just like perfection, just comes up to my dad and is like, Sherman, nice to meet you. Heard you do a little bit of hunting. My dad's like, I do a little bit of hunting. How about yourself? I heard the very first part of the conversation, which shout out to Mitch's dad. He actually shot a black bear while he was whitetail hunting. He was up in a tree stand hunting some whitetail, and there's an overlap in Pennsylvania on black bear and whitetail. He had a black bear come right behind his stand, just right up by the tree, and he did one of these and knocked it with one shot, so shout out Mr. Carsley. But he's telling that story, well, to a bunch of Texans hearing that, we're like, you shot a bear? Like, that's not, we don't have those opportunities in Texas.
Right.
I look over 45 minutes later, Mr. Carsley has his sunglasses up here. He has his readers on the bridge of his nose. My dad has his readers on the bridge of his nose, and my dad's doing this to Mr. Carsley and just, you see that, blah, blah, blah. They had their game cameras. They're showing game camera pictures to each other. Incredible, dude. I mean, you just like, you love to see that.
Look at that. This one's going to be a big one. Hey, come fall time, this one is growing right here.
And this 9-point, we haven't, so he came by one time.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him since.
Haven't seen him since.
And
neighbors haven't seen him either. He's out there.
He's out there, and we're waiting for the rut because he fucking loves the does. Yeah. But if they ain't rutting, he ain't coming to the feeder.
Yeah, he's on them does like white on rice now. I'm telling you.
But he won't show face till the rut.
Look at this. You know what? We didn't get him in this camera, but look at this rub on this tree.
And wait, hold on. Hold on. Wait 1 second, and they go through like 30 pictures.
Damn it, I can't.
They finally get the one picture where it's the, that back from behind or like straight on that they want to show you. Go, see how outside the ears he is?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Hey, remember that picture I was telling you about earlier? I couldn't find it. My buddy sent it to me. Check that out.
We finally got it.
Yeah.
And that's that 12 I was talking with the drop time. That's that 12. But dude, it's just it was phenomenal.
They accidentally opened up another app. God damn it. How do we get out of here?
I love seeing Dad's photo. Shout out Jill's stepdad, Cody, because he shows me a lot of game camera pictures too. I love seeing his camera roll. There is nothing better than a dad's camera roll, dude. You'll just see like when it's all the little images and they're like scrolling, you see some of the stuff that he takes pictures of or screenshots. To be in the mind of a dad, dude.
To be in the mind of a dad. My dad will just pull out the phone and just start taking pictures of Rue. And Rue will just be standing like right below him or something, doing something. And I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? Like, she's playing on the ground. You're getting photos of her back.
He's taking
like,
pictures.
Pull out his phone. He'll just be standing, just like taking pictures. Dad, do you want a better shot?
If you come over here, you can see her face. I don't need to see her. Why do I need to see her face? I know what that looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our what are the odds? And then as far as like survival kit and dad hacks, I feel like letting you drive on those as far as you having kids.
Survival kit and dad hack. Survival kit, I'll say, I think they both go hand in hand for the dad hack and survival kit. Survival kit, my survival kit recommendation will be having sticker books. You'll be traveling with a backpack. Around when you guys go out, maybe you're traveling to a different state, maybe you're flying on the plane, maybe you're in the car for a long time. Sticker book's a big one. We have animal sticker books, we have space sticker books, we have ocean sticker books to where it's like the glossy kind of cardboard. You open it up, the pages are thick, and you have like these stickers, like the glossy stickers that you can put on, you can remove, you can place them around. Rue was having you do it when we were at
what was that place? It was
the
really
egg
good.
spot. It was like
another broken egg.
Broken egg. Yeah. Another broken egg in Nashville. Shout out another broken egg. No free shout outs.
Great breakfast.
Yeah. But you bring out the sticker book when she's busy or bored or trying to do stuff or we're trying to be in a conversation. You'll pull out the sticker book, have her start doing it. She has you coming over. Where should I put this sticker?
I thought it was fun too. I can shout it out as well. I actually had a fun time with it.
Yeah. Sticker book that's a survival kit. That's a little product recommendation because going into the dad hack, and this will be shouts to my wife. So this kind of be like a parent hack. Dad hack, mom hack, whatever. TV coupons. Because one thing that you battle with when they have exposure, which they're going to have to the first screen, right? Or they are starting to watch TV. I know Rue had watched Mrs. Rachel when she was really little. Okay. And now she's in the phase to where it's like Trash Truck, Little Bear, which was a favorite of mine growing up.
Love
watching
Little Bear.
Yeah. Rue loves Little Bear right now. So she wants to watch TV. Like anytime I come home, something goes off in her brain to where it's like, all right, we're getting close to TV time. Because she doesn't watch any TV when the nanny's in, and we don't do iPads, we don't do screens when we're traveling or anything. Like we'll listen to music. She might like listen to her headphones. Her Uncle Brad got her this thing. I forget what it's called, but it like plays stories in the headphones. It could be like stories about Frozen or Moana.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just like they'll listen to stories. But if they want like activities to do, we'll get out the sticker book. We'll get out different drawing things where she can draw and hit a button and it'll delete it. Because we try not to do a whole lot of screen time. But she gets to watch TV. If you let them watch TV for too long, their sensory, their emotions get bigger. It's hard to put them down for bedtime. Yeah. They get really worked up because they're just watching on the screen. It's a big time where their brain's developing. They're trying to regulate their emotions. If they have too much screen time, there's so much research and like data on it and everything else. But we do our best not to put a whole lot of screens in front of her. So my wife, she was watching Little Bear and she likes to watch Little Bear. And then it got to where she was getting pretty pissed off or agitated when we tell her, hey, it's time to turn the TV off, time to start winding down, time to start getting ready for bed. Or, hey, if it's Saturday morning or Sunday morning, we might do like Saturday morning cartoons or Sunday morning cartoons. If we like make pancakes or make like a breakfast, like a family breakfast. And then it got to where, she'd start to get really fussy or mad when she had to turn off the TV or pause it, or she wouldn't eat her dinner. You had to like turn off all the screens. And so my wife, she made these, this is the parent hack. This is the dad hack. And shouts to my wife for this. She made up these TV coupons where she like cut out construction paper, a little construction paper background, printed out something on the computer, cut it out to where she like taped them on each other to where they have these fun little pictures, but each coupon represents 30 minutes of TV time.
Ooh.
To where she'll walk up to her room, she'll take out a coupon and put it in can't use the coupon anymore. And she only has like an allotted amount throughout the week.
Yeah.
But she'll have windows of 30 minutes to watch TV if she wants to watch TV.
Yeah.
And that's the hack because it helps we turn it into like making it a currency. So she now has the choice. She now has the ability to kind of think about when she wants to use them. It gives her a little bit of control. We were talking about giving them control earlier.
Yeah.
It gives them a little bit of responsibility you start showing them the cost. Like, hey, once you run out, these are gone for the week. You might be able to use 2 in a day. Maybe it's just 1 in a day, but you get to kind of pick and choose when you use your coupons, because once they're gone, they're gone. You don't get any more TV. So if it gets to a point where she wants to use like a second coupon in a day and you're kind of like trying to talk her out of it, you're like, hey, if you use this coupon now, you will be out for the weekend. Weekends are big. You have a lot of downtime.
Yep.
You could be watching TV.
Yep.
Saturday morning cartoons might not be Saturday morning cartoons. So it kind of gives them the freedom to start thinking about like what their choices are. And it gives them predictability to where, hey, they know they have coupons upstairs. So if she comes down, she's like, Dad, I want to watch Little Bear. And I'm like, well, did you use your coupon? She's like, I already went upstairs and flipped it over to the other side. So TV coupons, highly recommend. That's a way we've kind of tried to battle the screen time game, because it's like once kids start looking at the screen and seeing that all this, all these different things that they can watch on TV, especially now, like they don't have to watch commercials. If they get an ad that comes across like, oh, well, more Little Bear. And it's like, dude, you got 30 seconds of this ad that just popped on. Like you're going to have to, you have no clue. We had to fucking look at a TV guide to try to predict when our show was going to be on and watch it.
Oh yeah.
With all the commercials. Now they can get it instantly on demand. And so to kind of structure that versus her being like, I want to watch TV. We're watching TV. Like, hey, bro, you've been watching TV for like 45 minutes. It's time to turn off the TV. And then they get all pissed off. And it's like, bro, I've kind of let you watch TV for a while. Like, how do you not get that this is it's time to stop watching? So TV coupons is how we've started to play that game. Because again, it's tough. It's hard, especially when you can do. So I feel like it's more of a challenge for parents. Like when you go out to a restaurant, you might see a family sitting there and their kid's got you see them, they have a screen or an iPad in front of them. They have headphones on, and then the parents are either eating dinner or they might be on their phones or whatever it is. Like Charles and I we've always said like, we don't, when people make the comment, we don't want to be that family or we don't want to do this and that. Like it's challenging because it gets really hard when you travel or you're on the road or you're out eating at a restaurant. You want them to calm down, but I don't know. It's like trying to get them like, hey, it's all good to be bored. Do you want your sticker book? Do you want to, you want to pull out a book, or do they have something to color with at the restaurant? Or let's just listen to this song or listen to this podcast or listen to this book on audio if we're traveling in the car. So the screen time will be a battle that you'll come across in the future. And there's no right or wrong way. That's just kind of been our preference on how we're going to approach minimizing as much as we can. Because I know there are some families, they don't do any screen time. You're kind of like, man, I wish we challenged ourselves to do no screen time. Or there's some families you see that do the screen time. You're thinking in those moments of stress or annoyance, you're just like, man, I wish I could just put something in front of them so they just calm down right now. So there's no right or wrong way. Not trying to say you're a bad parent if you do a bunch of screen time. That is just how we approach dealing with screen time with Rue.
I love that philosophy, and that's actually one thing I've been hearing a lot about, like entering into fatherhood. Is I have a buddy that they were like, we did no screen time, and then now that we're like trying to watch movies with him, like he will not sit down. He's like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
like why are we watching this? And they're almost like, well, damn, I wish we had kind of introduced movies and TVs, because like he's constantly just like, why can't we just go like kick the ball? What are we doing?
Yeah. And it's like, buddy, I don't want to go outside right now. It's a little hot outside. Like, let's just chill in here.
Or it's, late at night. Like we're kind of winding down.
Sun's going down. Sun's going to sleep. Time for you to go to sleep.
Yes.
And it kind of came too from, you do Pizza Friday and movie night. We'd be watching movies, and then she wants to watch Frozen over and over. So it's
Good
like, hey,
her.
do you want to watch, if we have TV on, it's like you watch a couple things of Little Bear, because Little Bear will be like say 21 minutes long, and they have little segments of like 7 minutes on one episode, 7 minutes on another inside of like one episode.
Yeah.
You're trying to watch something short, and she'll be like, I want to watch Frozen. It's like, bro, you can't watch a movie. You can't watch an hour and a half of a movie now.
That's more than 30.
Yeah.
You're going to need 3 coupons to watch Frozen.
Yeah.
So does Pizza Friday not count towards
Pizza Friday doesn't count.
Okay.
We don't count it just because that's like our time of like showing up as a fam to kind of do like a family, our weekly tradition per week.
That's
but you'll
fun.
get like, I think it's around like 8, 9, 10. I don't know. We give her an allotted amount of coupons to where she can't double down on every day.
Okay.
She can double down on a couple days, but all the rest of the day she has like one coupon that she can use. And you try and talk to her like, hey, you want to save these for the end of the week? You want to save for the end of the week? She can't go over 2 in a day. So we're like, you like build parameters, kind of make it like a currency so they can start figuring out.
And she's in charge of the flipping responsibility
too. Yeah.
Which I feel like y'all are almost kind of setting an opportunity there of like
for her to,
oh yeah,
hey,
flip it back over.
How'd she get? It seems like she already used up her coupons. Why does she have one in there? I know. I'm ready for that time. I'm ready for that moment.
That's gonna be hard.
Right now, she's innocent enough to where she gets the game. It's like her getting out of bed. She doesn't really get out of bed until we come up in her room. I know some people, you hear stories like we got to like tie the door shut so they don't come out of the room down early in the morning and climb into our bed.
Yeah.
So we haven't gotten there yet, but it's going to be like that first time she realizes she can get out of bed and walk down to our room. And then she's like, oh man, I can just leave room in the middle. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I can just go down to mom and dad's bed.
Hey, yo, Waffle.
Yeah.
Where's Waffle?
Yeah, where's Waffle
with me?
But when my wife made it, I was like, are you sure you want to let her do the flipping? Because I can see where she just might be like, all right, I only have one left. Like, let me not flip it and see if my parents don't. If they don't catch me. But that's the parent hack. That's the survival kit, sticker books, dad hack,
I love
TV
that.
coupons.
A bonus dad hack to that is I had an English teacher in high school that all of the media that he would introduce to his firstborn son was all the media that he grew up on. So like his son's favorite movie at the age of 6 was like Superman 2 from like 1961.
Yeah.
And his son hadn't seen anything like outside of that and more modern and stuff. So he's seeing the terrible effects of like 1961 Hollywood, these practical effects. And he's thinking, how's this dude flying?
Yeah.
How's Superman up in the clouds right now? This is crazy.
And it's too, you come across things to where when you have like show recommendations for toddlers, because again, we'll get a lot of our stuff, whether it be the algorithm on Instagram or something coming across our face to where there's things that get your senses going so much to where there's a lot of movement in the show or a lot of lights, a lot of singing, a lot of camera angles changing a lot to where it's like, their brain development that's happening and it's like counterproductive for them. Like it's not healthy for them.
Oh, okay.
And you'll see that shows that we grew up on are slow enough, like Little Bear being an example, that are slow enough to where it's kind of like one shot and it's just them like interacting. It's wild. You'll come across all this stuff.
Yeah,
to where it's like the stuff we grew up on, it will be like, oh, those are better things for their brain to consume because all of the new age stuff, there's a lot of bouncing around, there's a lot of animation, a lot of lights, a lot of flickering, a lot of, scenes going from one to another really quick.
Yes.
Which apparently, I guess, messes up the brain. I have no clue.
No, that makes sense.
Not a scientist.
I've seen enough Bluey to know that like Bluey is like super fast paced, and just watching it, I remember like 2 of the little kid dogs are like yelling at the dad. Like they're upset that the dad's like telling them it's time to go night night. I'm just making up an example, but they're like talking back to dad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, shit. If I had a little kid, I don't want them like
knowing that this is an option.
Yeah, like what in the world? Like I think back to like Winnie the Pooh and like Eeyore being grumpy, and you're like, oh well, don't be Eeyore because like Piglet and Rabbit and Pooh are all like Eeyore, like cheer up, buddy.
Yeah. The last list I saw Bluey on was like a moderate. It was like a moderate one because when Rue was on, it was like Miss Rachel, Bluey. You're kind of learning about these shows and everything else because I think Bluey's awesome.
Okay.
But yeah, it's interesting, like learning about all of that stuff. Like when you have a kid, and you're trying to like everybody's trying to do the best that they can, and you're trying to figure out like what would be good for them to watch, what's unhealthy for them to watch. Like their brain's developing. What does that even mean?
Yeah, what can they even pick up from this? I'm such a cinephile, lover of movies that like to myself, I'm like, man, there's so many things I'm gonna want my kid to watch that I'm like, I'm going to have to wait until they're, 17, 18, 19 or whatever. Like,
but you want to know a show is we would watch Chaos Theory by Jurassic Park.
Oh, yes.
And it essentially shows the dinosaurs. It shows all the stuff. It shows moments right up to where before the human basically gets killed or a dinosaur gets killed.
Yeah.
Like it might be a velociraptor, dropping the nail on a guy's head. But they'll show the velociraptor and the nail will be up. And then like as it's going to go down and kill the guy and you hear the yell in the background, it'll just shift to a different scene and you'll hear it, but you just won't see it.
Yeah.
Rue and I were watching that at a pretty young age. And my wife was like, are you sure she should be watching this? Like, she's going to...
You double down.
As a dad, I'm thinking this is a show. I love Jurassic Park.
Finally, we got a good kid show.
Yeah. Oh, this is on Disney. This will be a good show.
Yeah.
It's like the T-Rex busts through the gates and like yells. And I'm like looking at Rue's reaction. And when she's just kind of like looking at it and not getting too scared, I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
maybe she can handle it. So it'd be something we would watch with mom not around at first. And then she saw it. And she's like, should Rue be... I don't know if I like Rue watching this. And sweetheart, I mean, she's been watching it. She doesn't get too scared. Like she's by dad. That keeps her safe. She's gonna come across it at some point.
And then I think like also like I watched the movie The Patriot at like 9, I think. So I'm like, oh my gosh, if I was watching The Patriot at 9, I go back and watch that now, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. And I can't wait till we get her into like maybe Star Wars or something. Because again, when you're watching like Bluey, but with like Miss Rachel be on TV or Blue or the really kid shows, you're kind of sitting there. It's like you want to watch it with them, but you got no skin in the game. Like Jurassic Park, Chaos Theory, all that stuff. I can sit there and watch it with her. Oh yeah, did you see that?
The only thing I was gonna say is we have run long, so I was gonna kick it to the voicemail.
What's up, guys? Big fan of the pod. My name is Alex Caputo. I'm from New Jersey. I am not currently a dad, but I am actually going through the IVF process, and I saw the pod about Will Compton and his wife, and it inspired me to get inspired and call in to see if you guys had some advice for me. Big fan of the boys, big fan of you guys. I would just love to be featured just to kind of chat with the boys and see what kind of inspiration I can get from the dads and from you, Sherm, as well. So again, like I said, shout out, no free shout out. Big fan of the boys, big fan of the bus. Love what you guys are doing. Again, my name is Alex Caputo. I'm from Jersey. Good old Jersey Italian boy here. Hopefully to become a dad in about a year if this IVF process goes well. Love you, boys. Much love.
Alex, man, shout out to you. Appreciate you calling in. Love that you listen to the IVF podcast with my wife and I. If you guys haven't seen that podcast, it's on it's on our Bussin channel.
Yep.
My wife and I did it for like a Mother's Day special where we sat down and broke down a lot of the IVF process and kind of the ups and downs of that process, because it's an interesting one. It's not an easy one on both the mom and the dad, the wife and the husband. Just because you don't know what to prepare for. Your wife goes through a lot of stuff physically. There's a lot of hormonal changes, a lot of injections and hard things that they have to do so that way their body's ready to conceive a child, because pregnancy is a very hard thing to make happen. You realize, like you think in high school, you can knock somebody up and it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And then when you get married and you go through some rough times or you go through some turbulence with your wife on trying to get pregnant, and then you kind of see why people are a little bit reserved when, hey, you ask the question, or you go somewhere, you're asking your friends that are newly married or something like, hey, when you guys thinking about kids, just because you have no idea what those two could potentially be going through. Like maybe they're having trouble getting pregnant. Maybe they're in the middle of an IVF process and their fingers are crossed that this works out because it's their last effort to try and make something happen, because doing it the natural way didn't work. Going through a couple other steps they might have tried might not have worked. And they're in this final step of being like, hey, maybe this IVF process will work. Because it's not the cheapest thing in the world. And, I do know of some stories and situations with friends of mine to where my wife and I, you look at our situation, even though it's very hard to go through the IVF process, like you look back and you have perspective, and we were also lucky because it happened in the first round. I have friends of mine, close friends of mine, that have went through multiple rounds of IVF to where they've had the embryos that are frozen, and those might not work out. Every time they try to implant implant, and then they might run out of those embryos to where they have to do the IVF cycle again, or they might not get a lot of eggs in their first IVF process to where they might only have one or two, and neither of those work out to where they have to go through the IVF process again. So if I had any advice, dude, number one, I wish you guys all the luck and health in the world that this first one goes the way that you guys wanted to, because even then it's a very hard process. And I just always anchored my emotion to think that something could probably go wrong based on friends that I've had these processes, and those IVF journeys don't work out the first or even second time or even the third time. There's one buddy of mine that's went through about 4 or 5 cycles before they had their first one. And that is very hard and trying on the marriage. It's very hard and trying on the couple. And it's one of those things to where, you know, you look for ways to be strong for your wife. Your wife's probably looking for ways to be strong for you and herself. And sometimes it's not about being strong. It's just about reconnecting and finding your way back to each other through communication, empathy, because there's just going to be a lot of stress that involves. Stress in IVF, along with all the stress going on in your worlds individually, at work, with your friends, your parents, whatever it may be.
Scheduling all those appointments around work if they're both working.
Yeah. Wondering if is there somebody to talk to, or should I bring it up? I know we kind of don't want to talk about it too much because our fingers are crossed. We want to get a little bit farther down the road before we start to talk about it. Hey, this worked out. You get a week in or a trimester or 2 in, there could be a miscarriage, and then it's a lot, man. So my advice would just be, again, it's all about staying connected. And then when you start to feel like in any part of the process you lose connection, it's just about circling back and reconnecting with your wife. And again, it's a trying time. So I wish you guys luck and health and all of it. Good luck. Because again, when it does happen, it is, it's always a miracle when there's a kid involved and it works out for the couple and it works out for everything involved. But Alex, appreciate you calling in, bro. I know that was a very long-winded response because there's really no right.
Yes, that's a hard one, dude.
Yeah,
that's a hard one. The only thing we did to prep Will this week with the call-ins is that Chef and I told him there was an IVF call.
Yeah,
because that is kind of that's a hard question to answer, dude.
Yeah, because there's at the end of the day, it's going to be trying.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard. And even if it works and everything's going smooth, there's just going to be those moments you have with your wife. And again, listen to that episode with my wife and I. We talk about a lot of those low moments and stuff that would go through my head that you feel so much guilt and shame. Like, I don't even want to bring this up because it doesn't seem like it compares at all to what she's going through. Then you start projecting back and forth on each other. Then you realize like you're not even talking about the right thing anymore. So yeah, there's really not a right way to go about it. It's one of those things. It's like you just prepare for the worst. And when that stuff starts to kick in, it's just reminding yourself, how do I find a way to reconnect? Because she might be having a hard time right now. If I'm having a hard time right now, how do I communicate that in a way that has, empathy and understands the weight of the current situation going on while just having the big picture in mind?
Yeah.
That would be what I'd say, bro.
I think that's a great answer. I appreciate Alex tossing my name in there to any advice. I can't speak on it from a personal situation other than have had a friend that has faced the same thing. He opened up to me about it, and we just had like one of the more incredible moments of our friendship of just kind of, and it was during the time of Jill's pregnancy. Mm-hmm. So probably a hard conversation for him to have, but just in that moment, being able to like hug him, and we both are teary eyed, and I'm just like, you are going to be the best dad ever. And I want it so bad for you. And just him being able to open up about that. Mm-hmm. So if anything, I think you had said the same thing, for Alex to just be able to communicate with somebody through that time. And then dads out there that maybe you have friends that are facing that, I think just when that conversation is presented to you, just being super open to be able to hear your buddy out, hear the fellow future dad out, potential future dad out, and just be there for him.
Because one thing and that's a great point too, because one thing that was surprising for me when we were going through that process, you don't know how much you can necessarily talk about it or how much you should talk about it with, respect to how your wife feels.
Yes.
Or if it feels like a bad or wrong thing to talk about. And what would surprise me is people that I would bring it up to, dads, they talked about, oh, we did IVF as well.
That's sick.
To where then you realize that, okay, you can start to talk about it a little bit more, or you have a friend that you can lean on, because again, you have no clue how the journey's going to be, because it can be heavy. There's a buddy of mine, they went through one IVF process, or their first IVF process, and they were pregnant, and I want to say they had a miscarriage around like week 18 or 19, which it's devastating.
Yeah.
You think everything's going smooth.
Because they tell you once you get past week 8, you're Gucci.
Right.
Yeah.
You hear all these different milestones. You feel a little bit more comfortable to talk about it, the sex of the child and everything else. And when the second round's coming and they're currently pregnant, they're not right at the 18-week mark. You just know everybody's like fingers are crossed, and you kind of put your arm around them, and you're hoping for the best, man, because you have no clue how all of it can go, what people are feeling. But yeah, man, definitely having somebody to lean on for sure.
Absolutely. The last thing on Alex, and we'll get to the next call. Alex was our very first voicemail.
Hey, fellas. This is Colin from North Carolina. It's about 1:10 East Coast time. I'm whispering because sometimes the fellas need to hear about a win. Today, this evening, is the biggest W that I have had in fatherhood in a very long time. Mom's first night out after second baby. We got a 2.5-year-old all boy savage and a 2-month-old all boy hellion who just is hungry nonstop. Mom decides she's going out. I got this. I think that the boys took one look at mom leaving and they saw it in my eyes after work. You know what? Dad needs a W. We got to get a W in the column for Dad. They rallied. Was left with a very strict milk schedule. I read it slightly at my own liberty. The toddler ate his first full meal in weeks. We played baseball outside. The baby slept. Everything. So, as hard as these nights are, because we're in the trenches, all the other nights have sucked. But guess what? Sometimes you get these giant W's. And they're incredible. Keep doing what you're doing, fellas. We love it. Absolutely love it. Extremely motivating. Appreciate you. Love you guys.
Colin from North Carolina.
Colin, I love the energy. I love the juice. You can hear it in your voice. Did he say it was 1 in the morning?
1 in the morning that he called in. Whispering,
keeping it light. I thought it was like, okay, this is kind of, he's low energy right now. Like, is this a bad vibe? But hearing that W, because he's right, man. The wife goes out for the first time and you're ready to put on that S on your chest.
Yeah.
And you're ready to take down everything in the house. We're going to eat a good meal. Hearing that his kid ate for the first time in weeks, that is a massive W. And you also learn, it's like sometimes the kid, whatever's going on in their brain, it might run smoother if it's just you and the kid.
Yeah. Because
if you have both parents, you got, they're working you. They're working you the entire time. And when you're solo and your kid eats that meal all the way through and you're thinking to yourself, she's going to come home and ask me, how did everything go?
Yeah.
And you're going to have that slow pan to where you just look and you're like, I crushed it. I crushed it. Buddy ate his full meal. Baby drank all of his bottles. slept through the night. I don't know if he's sleeping through the night yet. What did he say? 2 months old?
Yeah, 2 months old. But he said sleeping.
Sleeping. So he's getting, what he's trying to tell you is baby sleeping 4 hours at a time.
Yeah.
I'm guessing 3-4 hours at a time. Smooth sleeping to where you fall asleep for a little bit. You might wake up. You have your own little routine going on. But that is a massive W for the dads.
Because I'm guessing at 1 a.m., that would be, he probably puts it down at 6 or 6:30. It woke up around 12 or 12:30-ish.
Possibly.
And then he fed.
Maybe the 2-month-old had a bottle at 7, and you're thinking, all right, I'm going to be ready to go around 11, and they might still be sleeping and stretch it out to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Those are the small wins that you relish in, because it is, you're in it when you got the young one. Sleeping schedule's off, and that first time mom goes out on her own, you want them to go out, but the moment they walk out the door and it closes and the gates are locked, you need your heart to turn black. Because you don't know what you're about to be in for. When it goes smooth and when you crush it, and there's something about when you're just on your own and you're by yourself and nobody's coming to save you, that you just find a new gear, a new level, and you get through the end of the night or end of bedtime and you think to yourself, yeah, I can handle my shit. Oh, shout out Colin. Appreciate the call in, bro.
And an added bonus to Colin and Alex, Chef is going to reach out to them via 601 The Dads. He's going to get their home address, and they're going to get some free merch for being featured on the show for the dads.
Let's go, boys.
If your call gets featured on the show, guys, you're going to get some lids, maybe a shirt. We haven't fully decided yet, but you will get some free merch. Okay, we have the topic, quote, or lesson of the week from Will Compton.
From Will Compton. Do you have one?
I do not. Do you?
I mean, last week was kind of hard to follow up, I feel like. I have one. I got a...
And just really quick, do you want me to have some topic quote lessons of the week?
If you come across one, whether you're getting ready to be a father or something you come across that's kind of like, touch the old boy's soul a little bit.
Okay, cool.
And it can be something small. Again, topic, quote, or lesson. Like, it could be a quote. Like, I don't have one. I'm not necessarily prepared. I was thinking about it. And if I had any type of lesson, I hate coming off like any of it is advice, because you're going to get a lot of unsolicited advice. And I want to say the lesson is around that parent guilt or that dad guilt that you might have when you have a newborn or you have a toddler, you have a kid, and there are a lot of things that come your way. I know one thing that I've really learned over the past year that I try to put into practice is the power of no, because there's going to be, and a lot of guys, a lot of people don't necessarily have the option of opting out of something with work or opting out of an opportunity that they have to go and chase, because they have to do what they have to do to make sure they take care of everything at home and be that steady rock at home. And I think for me, it was like, there's always some, like, as you're going through this journey of everything and all the opportunities and things that we get to do, that Bussin gets to do, you can say yes to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because we kind of create our own. It's like we get to kind of build out what our future and everything looks like. So there's always opportunities coming our way, and we can say yes to everything. And you get spread so thin that you start to have the guilt when you're traveling or you're doing things that kind of pulls you away from the family. And I know that weighs on people. And they're, guys kind of put, the proverbial put their arm around you, or they try and tell you things that, like, hey, your kids won't remember, or you have all of those little things that they're probably just trying to help you justify whatever your decision is. But it's like, before they turn, whenever their memory starts, let's just say it's 5 years old. It's like, hey, they won't remember if you didn't make it to this dance recital, or you don't make it to, I'm not going to say like their first birthday, or like a birthday party, or there's something going on where the birthday party might be happening, but you might have a massive opportunity that you're kind of torn between the two. And I've kind of like resisted when I hear people say like, hey, they won't remember X, Y, and Z, because the way I've like flipped it in my mind and the way I've thought about it. And it's funny because I was talking through this with somebody whenever I was on some vitamins and minerals. And so, you're thinking of the entire universe at that point. And what I kind of thought to myself, or started to tell myself, is if they don't remember up until, again, let's call it 5 years old.
Yeah.
And when they grow up, they're not going to remember all of these years, these early years, because, you know, how much do we even remember? We don't remember a whole lot.
Not
there
a
might
whole
be
lot.
flashes or things or moments, or it could be bad moments that you might remember. But I've just kind of thought to myself that the way I flip in my head, that if they're not going to remember, we do remember. Like, our kids are here. These first years of their life are for us to enjoy. Like, it's for us to kind of look at the family we've gotten to create and enjoy these moments of time. Even though they might not remember it, we get to remember it, and they're here, they're on this earth right now for us to spend as much time with them as we can, or to enjoy them as much as possible. And that's the approach I've tried exercising and tried to be intentional with when I look at whether it's work opportunities or new opportunities. Is this going to take away from the family time? And if so, like, how much of it? How many bedtimes am I willing to miss? How many mornings am I willing to miss? And when you have that boundary for yourself, it helps kind of separate you to where you learn that power of no, of if it doesn't fit in this schedule, I'm going to say no to it, because you want to prioritize and be intentional with wanting to be around. Because again, they might not remember, but you do remember, and they're here now, especially in them young years, man, when they probably won't have a whole lot of memory of it, but things that we can capture on video, they're here for us to enjoy.
Yeah.
So that would kind of be, I guess, my lesson, or things that I've kind of thought about when thinking about them being really young and being in a position to where, again, we can say yes to a lot of things, and we have the opportunity, and we're awarded a lot of new things to do, and be on the road a lot, or travel a lot, and, you know, make as much money as possible and do all of these things. So it's something that I've tried, like, sitting with myself and having certain boundaries to where if it doesn't fit in these priorities and in this time frame, then I will say no to it, with the idea of I need to enjoy them as much as possible right now, because there's going to come a moment to where they're not crawling anymore. They're not stationary anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to say not walking. They'll always be walking. But the last time that you'll be picking them up before they don't want you to pick them up anymore, or you hold their hand, or all these little things that will be in the past.
Yeah.
And just to add on to it, it's like, if they don't remember up until 5, when they're in between 5 and 10, their foundation to be 5 and 10 is still going to be built on what they were from 1 to 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe that doesn't make sense.
No, it does.
But how you show up now is still going to be the pattern, or
it's not like all of a sudden you just become the person that you are at 6 years old. And
right.
It's just don't.
Right.
I know exactly what you mean.
So that would be, yeah.
I love that lesson. I just with Rue, like, and Scotty as well. I put together a clip today of Will that, like, featured a ton of Will's Instagram posts, and in those posts, it was like crazy just seeing, like, Rue in the photograph, because I'm, like, really looking at the footage and making sure it all looks good, and I'm like, man, she's growing fast. Seeing Scotty at the dad combine, her hair from when we shot that trailer to now, is so much longer. And that felt like last week. So it's like, and those aren't even my kids. And then also the fact of, that was another thought that went through my head while I was putting that video together, is I was like, man, Will is doing a killer job on the social media stuff, just from a selfish standpoint of you being able to go back and see all those pictures. And, like,
dude, you don't know how many times, like, when mom's out of town and she's like, Rue struggles. If I'm home alone with the kids and I have them for like a weekend, or have them like 4 or 5 days, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And she starts to be upset that mom's not home. It's like, I can just pull up Instagram. I'll pull up, like, Charles, like, you want to see videos of mama, and we can just go into our reels and kind of, like, watch old videos, and that calm her down. And she can see, like, old memories. But dude, I sometimes it takes a while, but I feel like it's like one of those things that when those moments are happening, it's like, man, I'm glad I, like, made a video, or I made a post about X, Y, and Z, because you can, like, scroll back and see a lot of old memories.
Yes, dude. And at the exact same thing you're saying about the dad combine and just Bussin in general, what Jelly Roll said, like, you're just making a photo video journal.
Yeah.
Which is so cool, dude. Like, having a Facebook, being, like, our generation. How old are you? I forget.
I am 35.
35. Okay, so I'm 3 years younger than you. Having Facebook when we did,
Yeah.
You were probably like a sophomore in high school or something.
Yeah.
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 I was in 7th grade, I believe. And so like having that is so freaking fun, dude. And again, the thought of being a grandfather and being able to pull up your Facebook and be like,
Bro.
look at this, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Pulling up your IG, just scrolling thousands of posts.
yes. A quick lesson for this would be for future dads or guys that are thinking about being a dad. This was a quote from Jill's stepdad that I thought was really great. And he was talking about like my professional career more so than fatherhood, but I think it's a very applicable to future dads that are like, am I ready for this? Can I do this?
Mhm.
Will I be a good dad? One, the fact that you're asking yourself that question is a good start.
Means you care.
It means you
Yeah.
care. So I would say the fact that you're asking that, that's a good sign. Second thing I'd say is everything in your life to this point has been getting you ready for something, whatever that next step is. And being able to eternalize all the, what is it called when you have done something, you're gaining
Perspective.
you're gaining
Wisdom.
Wisdom. What does an intern get whenever they work? Experience. You're getting experience. Well done, intern chef. You're gaining experience for all these things throughout your life. So everything that you have gone through throughout your life, all the happy stuff, all the hard stuff, all the challenging stuff, as making you the person, the man that you are today. And you can learn from everything that you've gone through, whether it's a mistake, whether it's good things, that will help prepare you for what is to come. And with fatherhood, to apply that, I know nothing about fatherhood, but as I'm getting closer and closer to July 2nd, the induction date, there are moments where it's like lightning has struck my brain and I remember something that my dad always did. Or I remember something that really upset me as a kid. Specifically with Rue in the pool when Chara was like sitting there and having that conversation with her. And like realizing like, yeah, I probably would have wanted to like talk something out instead of, having somebody yell at me or argue with me in that moment. So life is ever changing. There's always going to be things coming at you that you feel like you won't be ready for, but just be able to use your past as a stepping stool into whatever you're going into, I guess would be my lesson of the week.
Yeah. Because, there's a lot of fears and doubt and things on thinking if you can do it or not, right?
Yes.
And whether or not, none of us know how. Nobody knows how to be, a perfect dad. That's an impossible expectation to have. And people might feel that way because maybe they had a lot of bad experiences in their childhood or in their life to where they might have had doubt. But I would say a way to use that is what you don't want it to look like. You know what I mean? You know that you don't want to be this person, or maybe one of your parents were this way or your dad was this way, and you feel like it might be generational and it's an opportunity for you. I know people get motivated by breaking generational curses.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Even if you don't have all of the best experiences or the best memories that you're thinking like how I'm going to do this, like maybe you had a rough one and you know what you don't want it to look like. And that right there is a great starting point on how you know what you don't want it to look like. I love that though. That was good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good show.
Great show.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
This one went a little long.
Very long.
Chef will have some editing to do.
Yeah. 144.
Yeah. We've got to get those numbers down. You know how I feel when we go a little too long. Even on Bussin, let's cut some of this out.
What should we aim for?
No clue. I like to be under the hour mark. I like to be under the hour mark. That might be impossible. And maybe maybe people will be like, no, this is completely fine. Like I know when I get on and I see an episode and I know it's like under an hour, or like our last one what was our last one? 50 minutes. You see 50. Okay.
Oh, it's under an hour. I can,
This will be an easy.
I can do that.
So that's all I would. That's
my only note too. But I was so lost in the sauce of conversation that I also was like, hey, maybe a good thing. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, man, on the top of our sheet, ETA, expected runtime, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. Got a couple talkers up here.
Yeah, we got some talkers.
We got some talkers
will
up here.
we'll bring it in.
Yeah.
Maybe you take motherfucked, I'll take crack a cold one. We'll each one do one of the segments.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might be what we need to do.
Pre-production meeting could be good for us.
A pre-production, which we didn't do.
No.
And that's okay. That's okay. It was a very busy week.
Yeah.
But we'll get it dialed.
Yeah.
We'll get it dialed.
Shout out to dads, man. Thank you guys for joining us. Like, subscribe. Again, leave comments. We love the comments. We'll be engaging with you guys, whether it's on social, here on YouTube, whatever the case is. Thank you guys. We appreciate the support. We need a sign off. Right now, I just got big hugs, tiny kisses.
I think that's great. That's a blanket sign off that I think for Bussin', because y'all do it on the locker room too. I think that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Take your trash out. See you guys next week.
Ooh.
Oh.